want to do the elevate part. I think that means standing. But it's up to you. Let's go higher. Let's go further. Let's go deeper into God's love. Let's go higher. Let's go further. Let's go deeper into God's love. Let joy take hold and elevate your soul. Let love be great and give us cause to celebrate. Let's go higher, let's go further, let's go deeper into God's love. Let's go higher, let's go further, let's go deeper into God's love. Let joy take hold and elevate your soul. Let love be great and give us cause to celebrate. Let's go higher, let's go further, let's go deeper into God's love.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Yolo. My name is Reverend David Clark, and I'm the senior minister here. And I am so happy to welcome you here on this beautiful, crisp Sunday morning. Like Billy said, the sun is trying its best to peek out through the clouds. I think we're going to get a lot of sunshine today, so that's going to be awesome. Good morning, Billy.
Good morning, David. How are you doing?
I'm great. It's our music director, Billy Larkin.
Today is exciting because we have one of our dear friends in the center is back to share his wonderful gift of singing, and that's Mr. Matt Dunn. He's right up here. It's going to be, as we always say, the best service ever.
I believe it will be. It already is. So, we're going to have an interesting conversation today in our talk, and so I'm very much looking forward to that. But we are very much paying attention today to the ripples that emit from us in our daily lives. Every day we are transmitting our feelings, our thoughts, our emotions, and so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But first, what is science of mind? Science of mind, which is what we teach, what we study, and what we practice here at CSL Yolo, is a spiritual philosophy that teaches individuals how to live their inherent greatness by aligning with spiritual principles. It emphasizes that God is within everyone, and through the power of mind, affirmative prayer, and intentional thought, we can create a life of joy, success, and fulfillment. We believe by recognizing our divine nature and infinite potential, we can express our highest self and live with purpose, abundance, and love. And who doesn't want to do that? Yeah. These beliefs have a lot of power, and we exercise that power through our mind and through what we choose to believe. And I want to share some of those things. We believe 4 core things at this center, and I want to share those with you now. We believe that love is all there is. Number 1, chiefly, firstly, foremost, we are motivated, ruled, and guided by love in all our actions. You can't make one move, you can't move one muscle without thinking of someone or something that you love and how that is affected. So we pay a lot of attention to what we love and how we love in this philosophy. Number 2, we believe that all thought is creative and influential. Thoughts are things. And we're all sitting here surrounded by the product of thought and intention. And even your beautiful selves were preceded by thought. So we pay a lot of attention to what we think and what we believe in this philosophy as well. Number 3, we believe that you are whole, perfect, and complete exactly as you are right now. Right this very second, you are whole, perfect, and complete because you come from a whole, perfect, and complete source. So it can only make whole, perfect, and complete things, and you are one of those blessed things. So we believe this about ourselves, and we believe this about each other. And we believe this about the world. Even if you've never heard of science of mind, even if you've never walked through these doors, we believe that you are whole, perfect, and complete as well. And lastly, number 4, we believe in a world that works for everyone. This world operates on love and law and cause and effect, the same as it has since the beginning of time. And it works the same way for everyone. And what this philosophy does is study those natural laws so that we can create a world that actually works for everyone, a world that we want to see and be and live in. And so that is what we're all about. So now it's time for my favorite time of the day, our Namaste time, where we get a chance to look each other in the eye and to acknowledge the divinity that is alive, living, and breathing, and existing within each and every one of us. And we do that with Namaste. So let's have our Namaste time. And if you are so bold, please come by and give a welcome to our online audience. We're online, loud and proud today. Wonderful, wonderful. What a great practice. What a great practice. And I encourage you to do that little silent namaste to yourself every time you meet someone. Every time you meet someone new, every time you pass someone in the street, give them a little namaste and know that they have as much God in them as you do. And it is there and present and always beautiful to recognize. So now I want to welcome our practitioner of the day, Heather Flores. She's going to come up and give us our vision and mission and share with us today's affirmation. Oh, good morning, Heather.
And good morning to you too. Here at, excuse me. Here at CSL Yolo, we have a vision, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to share that and then ask you to all repeat it with me. So our vision is to create an environment for all to realize the power of spiritual connection. And together? Our vision is to create an environment for all to realize the power of spiritual connection. And then our mission, which supports our vision, is to provide a sanctuary for all to be lifted and inspired to embody spiritual principles and live their inherent greatness. And together? Our mission is to provide a sanctuary for all to be lifted and inspired to embody spiritual principles and live their inherent greatness. And we have an affirmation every week, and our affirmation today is, I am ever mindful of the ways my life force ripples out into the world. And so let's stand and embody that for ourselves. Okay?
And I did, yeah, I know. I didn't update the slide. I have to, I have to acknowledge that.
Just read
So,
it line by line.
yeah, just give us line by line.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am ever mindful
I am ever mindful
of the ways my life force
of the ways my life force
ripples out into the world.
ripples out into the world.
So can you just kind of feel that the way it unfolds? Very good. Thank you.
Do we have something?
I'm coming.
Okay, here's Hugh. Here's you, Tom.
Good morning. Sorry, everybody. This is new to me, so I promise in the future I will have it together. But I don't have the slides in front of me, sorry. So I'm just going to read through them with you here. But from January 30th through April 4th, we are recognizing a season of peace and nonviolence. And this was created by the Global New Thought, and it runs between the period of Mahatma Gandhi's assassination and Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. So we'll be focusing on peace and nonviolence throughout this period of time, and also we will be having some events to just really celebrate the peace within us and having that ripple out. And today's one of those days, so I hope you are all coming after service to, Deborah, do you want to talk a little bit about it? You want to come on up? Great, thanks. We'll be doing vision catchers today after service right down the road at 819 Carrion Circle if you're interested in joining. I know a lot of you have already signed up. If you have not signed up, don't worry about it. Come. There's plenty of room, there's plenty of materials, and there'll be plenty of fun.
Thanks, Tracy. So I'd just like to give a special invitation in case there's anybody who hasn't already heard about it and might want to participate. We're having what we're calling a vision catcher session. It's visioning based on Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith's process. You may have heard of creative visualization. You may actually use that in your life. And this is an even deeper practice. It's a spiritual practice. And so it's going to be fun. We're going to make something that helps us to retain, sometimes we get stuff in vision or we get an insight and it's all exciting and then go back to our life and kind of, get back in the drift and forget what those insights were. And so we're going to do something to help us have a touchstone that we can remind ourselves on a daily basis what that was as we move more and more into becoming that vision, which is already within us. We're just allowing it to come forth. So I hope you can come. It's on a love offering basis, so that means that you choose, you and yourself get to choose what you want to contribute. What? So anyway, we hope you come. It's at the home of Tracy and Jason Gerardo here in Winters, and I'll let her tell you where that is. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, everyone. Next up is drum roll, please, as we welcome our special guest slowly making his way up here.
Interesting when we talk about forgiveness, because I'm going to be practicing that myself here in a second. They say forgive not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. And that's the point of this class that I'll be giving. And it's only a half an hour long. I talk a little bit about forgiveness, what it is, what it isn't, and then we do a process based on the Hawaiian huna called ho'oponopono. And it's basically translates roughly to making things right. And it brings things together. Because remember, forgiveness isn't saying what the person did was appropriate, right, or correct, but it's allowing you to release that burden, let go of that so-called silent tax of holding on to those feelings. If you're holding on to something, some anger, something from somebody, you're the one holding that burden. It doesn't affect their life at all. So I'll talk about that. I talk about the 3 different types of forgiveness, and the main one we talk about is release, and we'll get into that in the class. It's Thursday. It's coming up Thursday at 12 p.m. Pacific time. And it's online. It's a Zoom class. So if you want to reach out to me, you could email me at onepathcoaching, all words spelled out, onepathcoaching@gmail.com. Or you can go to my website, onepathcoaching.com, and get information on that. Or just ask me about it and give me your email, and I can share that with you. And I'd love to share that with you. A big part of our positive mental health is letting go of the things from the past that are burdening us. And forgiveness lets go of that burden. So I hope to see you all there. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, everyone. I've been many times, and I can tell you it's amazing. And if you work like I do during the day, you can just take a lunch break and spend an hour with Jason on a Zoom really quick and just really recharge and let go. I'm also going to practice forgiving myself for not being prepared, and I promise to do that. Thank you, everyone. Oh, and also, sorry, one more, I totally forgot one more.
Yeah, I can talk about this one, sure. This is the first concert of 2025 for the Blue Rose House Concert Series. Alex Jenkins is a kind of local wunderkind. He's an amazing drummer, and he's going to put on a fantastic show in our house. That's going to be on what date? That's February 22nd. It's coming right up. And it's at 6 o'clock, and it's a trio. And so it's going to be an inside event. We'll have, as usual, refreshments and some snacks and stuff available for it. And I guarantee you're going to have a really very incredible time. Hope to see you there on the 22nd for Alex Jenkins Trio. All right, I guess that's the end of the announcements.
Yeah. Thank you, Bill.
And here I go. So as we enter into the more contemplative portion of today's service, please join me in singing Time for God. The time for God is now, and the time for peace is now, and the time for love is always upon us. Yes, the time for God
That was beautiful. And I am privileged today to bring you both the sacred reading and the invocation. And our sacred reading today is by Thich Nhat Hanh, and it's beautiful also. When Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. marched in downtown Chicago against the Vietnam War on March 25th, 1967, a few months after he and Thich Nhat Hanh, met, he did so under a banner in English and Vietnamese that read, "Men are not our enemies. If we kill men, with whom shall we live?" They and Dr. King shared the insight that it is not other people who are our enemies. It is instead, our enemies are anger, resentment, hatred, fear, and discrimination. It was by concentrating on this insight that Tay, Sister Chan Kong, and their young social workers in Vietnam were able to stay neutral and not take sides during the war. The path of not hating the enemy is a profoundly spiritual practice. Dr. King once said that if we have enough spirituality and ethics, we'll be able to replace hate with love. As meditators, we train in this way of seeing so we can confront injustice without hating. We need a spiritual dimension in our lives. Tay says we shouldn't all spiritually be exclusively claimed by one particular side. What the world needs most now, Tay says, is a God of compassion. We need a God of non-discrimination. We need a God of tolerance. We need a God of love. Love allows us to go even further and to see hatred, anger, and discrimination not so much as enemies, but as energies inside all of us that can be embraced and transformed. And that's from Zen and the Art of Saving the Planet. So just basking in that and turning within, I recognize that there is just one being, one life, one all that is. And it's fully present right here and right now. It is love and peace and freedom and joy. And its nature is to give and to continue to give. It's infinite, having no limits, no bounds. And it flows through me as surely as air flows through me. And as it is true for me, that is true for each and every one who is here, each and every one who would like to be here, each and every one who is present online. We are all in this together. And I know that our time together today in this service unfolds according to Spirit's plan. And that plan is already made manifest. So I give thanks in advance for the beautiful music provided by Billy and Matt, for the talk that Reverend David will share with us, for the food and fellowship that follows our service, for the joy of connecting with each other and being fully live and present. I give thanks knowing that that is our birthright. And it's already done. And I let it go. And knowing that it is so, I say, and so it is.
Matt Dunn, y'all. Wonderful. Thank you for that. There's an elephant in this room. And I gotta tell you, I love elephants. And they're constantly on my little Instagram feed. I'm always getting pictures of baby elephants, and I just love baby elephants and watching them play and and just run around, and I love elephants. And the connotation of an elephant in the room is negative, but I think it's a positive, because I love elephants and I love seeing them, I love being with them. So if there's an elephant in the room, I just want to go up and hug it and embrace it. And but the elephant in this room is something that is on a lot of our minds today. It's our political climate. It's turn on the news and things are happening. Things are happening and feelings are coming up. And then we come into the center with a bunch of people that we know and we love, and maybe kind of set that aside for a moment and get into something else. And then when we leave here, we pick up our worries again, we put them on our backs, and then we head off into our days. But we don't just want to do the same old cycle, okay? We want to see change in this world. And that's why seeing the change, maybe seeing some of the changes that are happening today, make us feel a certain kind of way. And that kind of creates this elephant in the room that I want to talk about. And it's an elephant of hate and fear. Hate and fear. And I want to address a little bit of that today. One thing, a couple of things that I'm not going to do. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. I'm not going to tell you what causes to support. I'm not going to tell you who to dislike. I'm not going to tell you who to rise up against. So we're not going to be talking about any of that stuff. But we are going to talk about the feelings that arise within us. The feelings that are there right now about whatever is happening politically, because it's all the same thing. No matter what side you're on, you are still subject to hatred and to fear. And these are two emotions that we don't want to have rule us. We don't want fear to be in charge, or we don't want fear to be any influence on the good that we produce for the world. So what do? Every time we turn on the TV, we're confronted with something that we don't like. Even driving here today, you probably ran into a few people that you don't like based on their actions in the road. We'll put that mildly. But we don't want to embrace fear and hatred, just for a couple of reasons. I just want to run this down. If you're the kind of person that's like, yeah, hate motivates me. When I get angry, that's when I'm motivated to move. When I'm fearful, yeah. If that's you, then here's some little cautionary things about fear and hate that we may want to avoid. So fear and hate, they disrupt mental clarity. Okay, I am not thinking with my full mind of all the options that are available to me when I'm in a hateful mood or when I'm feeling fear. I'm closing off my options. I am thinking negatively about the world. Whether it's about my fellow humans or whether it's about a situation that has arisen, I am thinking negatively about it. And I don't know about you, but I want to live my life in positivity and in love. And it's very difficult to do that when I'm in the grips of fear, when I'm in the grips of hatred. It also blocks the flow of love and abundance. We are constantly in the flow of love and abundance, okay? There's nothing we can do to change that, but we can ignore it. We can forget it. We can believe that it doesn't exist, and it will not be part of our experience. When we're dealing with fear and hatred, it blocks off that flow of love and abundance that we're constantly in. It blocks the acknowledgement of those things. So, and how does it do that? Well, it does that because we're so consumed with what we're hating and with what we're fearing, we're not seeing goodness and abundance coming in from all different areas because we're focused on this one area where we feel that it's not happening. It also creates stress and disease. Thoughts are things, as we say. If we're fearful, we're releasing chemicals. Our heart is racing. We are having experiences that are not healthy, and it creates stress, and stress creates disease. So we don't want fear and hate running through our lives. Also, it prevents healing and spiritual growth. Very difficult to grow spiritually in love and compassion as we want to do, and also hate that guy over there. We want love and compassion for everyone, except for him. So you see how that's contradictory? It's very difficult to hold both at the same time. Love and compassion, and at the same time hatred and contempt and fear. Very difficult to hold both of those tightly at the same time. So we got to let one of them go. And a lot of times we choose, I'll let go of compassion because I really don't like that guy. But what kind of world do we want? That's what we have to ask ourselves. What kind of world do we want? We want a world of love and compassion, of consideration, of respect. So what do? How do we get rid of our hate and fear? I wish there was a magical elixir that we could just drink, or magic words that we could just say poof, and it just all goes away. But unfortunately, I'm here to tell you that it takes work. It takes work. It takes practice to deal with the constant barrage of news and events. And one of those practices, as you know, is that I'm a big proponent of, is heartivism. And we talked about heartivism. We had a class on heartivism last year, and I just want to recap what exactly heartivism is. It is the practice of activism led by the heart, combining spiritual principles with social action. It emphasizes love, compassion, and unity as the driving forces for creating a positive change in the world. I'm all for positive change. Anybody here for positive change? Yeah? You down with that? Okay, cool. So we're going to go over a couple of little heartivism practices that we can do to dispel fear and hate, and how to make a positive change in the world, which we've all acknowledged that's what we want to do. Right? Okay. So, number one, there's something called a heartivism covenant. And it is basically an affirmation of who we are. And so I just put something together. I'm going to read it to you and see if you can agree to step into this. So here it is. We stand firmly in the truth that every human being is a divine, or is an expression of the divine. We affirm that all people, regardless of race, nationality, gender identity, sexual orientation, economic status, ability, past actions, or beliefs are inherently worthy of love, dignity, and respect. We commit to being love in action. We will respond to fear with faith, to hate with compassion, and to injustice with sacred action. We are the presence of peace. Is this something you can get behind? Can you sign up for this in the grips of the fear and hatred and anger that we may be experiencing? Can we step into this as the focus of our lives? Oh, wait a minute. What happened? Boy, we have a lot of opportunities to forgive today. Yay! Blessed forgiveness. Love it. Oh. What did I do? Okay, well, I got my slides mixed up. But, yeah, it's like way forward. It's way forward. Oh, there it is. There it is. That's what I wanted. Yeah, I reorganized them and outsmarted myself. So I love to do, because I'm so smart. So here it is. Is this something that we can step into? Because we're going to get some tools in order to get with this more fully. But this is the world we want, right?
Yes.
We want a world of respect and peace and love and compassion, where that rules the day. Not fear, not hatred, not anger, not oppression. This is the world that we want. When we're talking about a world that works for everyone, this is what we're talking about. So, with that in mind, let's all say it together before we move on, if we agree. Loud and proud. We stand firmly in the truth that every human being is an expression of the divine. We affirm that all people, regardless of race, nationality, gender identity, sexual orientation, economic status, ability, past actions, or beliefs, are inherently worthy of love, dignity, and respect. We commit to being love in action. We will respond to fear with faith, to hate with compassion, and to injustice with sacred action. We are the presence of peace. And so it is. So thank you for joining me in that, and let's dig into this a little bit. There's a couple of other things that we can do to help us in our efforts. Spiritual anchoring, grounding before engagement. So this is important. Before you turn on that TV, before you turn on the radio, before you open up that newspaper, before you go to that website, engage in a centering practice. Take 3 deep breaths and say to yourself, I am centered in the infinite. No outer condition defines my peace. No outer condition defines my peace. None. That is a fact. Your peace is generated from within. And we always have to remind ourselves constantly of this fact. We are not subject to outside conditions as far as our peace and love are concerned. So, Also, before taking an action, always remember this and affirm this. I am centered in the infinite. No outer condition defines my peace. Another thing we can do is reframe our fears. Instead of saying, look at what they're doing to us, we can say, what is ours to do in love? What is ours to do in love? We're changing our response to conflict. We're changing our response when someone is standing there begging you to hate them, which we have a lot of that these days. People want conflict. They want you in the fight. Come in here, fight with me. Let's fight together. Let's hate each other. That is our invitation that we get on a daily basis. We can't take the bait. If we want a world that works for everyone, if we want a world of peace and compassion, we have to be that peace and compassion. I'm sorry to tell you. No one's going to come along and say, okay, everybody, settle down. We're going to follow me and we're headed to compassion right now. Just lay down your arms and let's go. No one's going to come and do that. It is beholden on each and every one of us to bring their peace to the table. And so that takes some work, that takes some practice, that takes a little bit of self-discipline, but hey, we can do this. Yes? Yes. So another thing that we can do is take compassionate action. One of the ways we can take compassionate action is in sacred service. So sacred service could be anything from volunteering at your local CSL Yolo, or it could be going on a march. It could be volunteering, helping out immigrants with their documentation or with their the filling out forms. It could be anything. It could be helping out at a food bank. Whatever calls upon your heart for sacred service, go and do that. But go without it, and don't say, I'm going to stick it to them. I'm going to work with these people, and I'm just going to, No. Do it with love and compassion in your heart for what you are doing presently. And know that it is making an impact in the world. Don't do it in spite of. Don't do it in hopes of aggravating someone. Oh, this is really going to piss them off when I do this. That is not a motivation that lasts. Our motivation of love, our motivation of compassion, that's a motivation that lasts. That's a motivation that can take us into this next era of peace that we are entering into. And it may sound crazy that I'm saying that we're entering into a next level of peace, but that is exactly what we're doing. In order to get there, we have to be here, now, experiencing exactly what we're experiencing. So this is all part of the process, and this is how we play our part to bring about the world that we want to see. Another sacred engagement are conscious conversations. Very similar to the community conversations that we have on Wednesdays at 6 o'clock, hosted by Reverend David Clark. That was a little plug. Little plug. But these are the kind of conversations that we can have with each other. We set a floor of equanimity and compassion and love. And from that, we have our conversation. And we can say whatever it is that's on our hearts. If we're confused about something, if we don't know about something, if we want to declare something, we can do that in a sacred, conscious conversation. Without harm, without fear. And so we want to have these conversations with each other. And we also want to have these conversations as we build a bridge to the other side. No matter what side you're on currently, we cannot live our lives without the other side. We can't be like Thanos and snap our fingers and have everybody that we don't agree with just disappear. That was a Marvel reference, if you're into Marvel movies. But we can't just have the opposite side disappear. They are our friends, our family, our neighbors, our doctors and lawyers and teachers. There's all kinds of people on that other side. All kinds of good people, loving people, necessary people. We need to build a bridge to where we can meet and talk and rebuild our relationships. So, I want to encourage you to engage in heartfelt, respectful dialogue with people that don't feel the same as you do. That's a tough one, eh? But, hey, we want a certain kind of world. We want a world of compassion. And so we have to be the example of that compassion. Each and every one of us is a living example of peace, of compassion, of love. And we have to be that in the world. We cannot wait until the world is more loving, and then we can be more loving. The world becomes more loving with each and every individual that accepts that into their heart and makes that a priority. Love and compassion. And I would love to tell you how easy it is to just love somebody that is begging you to hate them. But it's not easy. And that's not what everyone is doing. Everyone's just making the best out of their own situation up to their own capacity. And there are things that I have accepted into my own mind just out of my own pure ignorance until I learned otherwise, and then learn about this other culture, learn about this other group, learn about this other point of view, and then I'm like, oh, well, wait a minute, they're not as bad as I thought. They want the same thing that I do. They want to live, they want to love, they want to have freedom, they want to raise their families, they want to have peace, they want to have success. We all want the same thing. It's just we have a lot of different ways to go about doing it. And so it comes down to, who are you? Who are you and what do you want? And embracing the fact that that's what you have to be right now. Right now. The world is calling on you for peace. You may find that there's a side effect of being peaceful, of being loving, of being compassionate, of not buying into the hatred, not buying into the fear. There is a side effect, and that side effect is ripples. As you love, ripples of love emit from you. Ripples of peace emit from you. And the first person to feel and experience and enjoy those ripples is you. And then it's the people next to you. And then further out and further out. You may find that people might come to you. Someone that has some opposite viewpoint as you. But they see that you're a loving person, they know that you're a loving person, they respond to that, they recognize it, and maybe they'll have a question for you. Maybe they'll have a loving remark. Maybe they'll come and ask you about some aspect of how you feel. And that is your opportunity to reach out with love, to respond with love and curiosity. When we have our bridge building conversations with people, just be curious. Be curious about their viewpoint. Be curious about their life. Be curious about what they love. As soon as we start to talk to people about something that they love, have you ever noticed they'll just open up like a flower? And they'll immediately want to share that with you? We all do it. And it's powerful. So, before we get our homework, our home play, or no, we're going to do it after our home play. But for our home play this week, 3 things. First of all, detect when you're feeling fear, hatred, and anger. Detect it. Okay? And it's not always easy because fear and hatred seem natural. Don't they? When you're in the middle of feeling that, and somebody makes you upset or makes you angry, it's like, oh, this is my natural state. I'm angry because I should be. I have reasons to be angry. I have reasons to strongly dislike this individual or that individual. But detect that and recognize that fear and hatred and anger are just alarms. Just like if you got a pain in your shoulder, that indicates that maybe, your rotator cuff needs to be replaced, needs to be repaired. If you've got a fever, well, that indicates that you might have an infection. It's just an alarm. It does not define you. It doesn't define who you are. It just alerts you to a condition that needs to be addressed, to an unnatural condition that needs to be addressed. Hatred, fear, and anger are not our default states. They are not what is at the core of us. At our core, we are whole, perfect, and complete. That's it. So, acknowledge that, yeah, man, I'm feeling that hatred. Oh, I'm feeling that fear. It's like, oh, I'm consumed with anger. And recognize that that is your alarm and that is your time to do some work. Turn off that TV. Close that book. Turn off that computer. Get away from all of that and return to yourself before you get too carried away with it. Return to yourself and remember who you are. Remember the world that you want to live in and experience. And return to yourself. Take some deep breaths. Go for a walk. Say some affirmations. Say this affirmation. This is who we are in the world. And this is who is going to change this world and uplift this world. We stand firmly in the truth that every human being is an expression of the divine. We affirm that all people, regardless of race, nationality, gender identity, sexual orientation, economic status, ability, past actions, or beliefs, are inherently worthy of love, dignity, and respect. Why do I call out so many groups and not say just all? Because these particular groups are under threat right now. These particular groups are the groups that are always marginalized, that are always yearning for acceptance and equality. So we must call them out along with the all. We mean all. So we commit to being love in action. We will respond to fear with faith, to hate with compassion, and to injustice with sacred action. We are the presence of peace. Yes? All right. So let's take that into prayer. Oh, and it is here from this place of peace, this place of power, this place of wholeness, this place of perfection, that we proclaim that there is one. One life, one spirit, one love, one mind, one divine presence. And we know that this one is everything that we consider to be good. It's peace, power, and love, and joy, and wisdom, all in infinite measure, stretching throughout the universe, stretching throughout everything in the universe. And so as there is only one, I know that I can only be part of the one. I know this for myself, and I know this oneness, this unity with every single person that is here right now. Every single person that is online. I know the truth of our oneness for every single person on the planet. No matter who they are, no matter what they've done, no matter what they believe, no matter who they voted for. We are one. And so knowing this and knowing that peace, infinite peace, is part of our oneness, I know that we can be in peace with each other. It is just a state of mind away. We can be in love with each other. We can be in light with each other. Because we already are. That is the truth of oneness. One life, one love, and we are all living it and being it together. It's not a matter of if we can get along, if we can unite. We're already united. We just need to align our minds to the truth of our existence, the truth of our oneness, the truth of our unity, the truth of our connection to Spirit. And so I'm happy, I'm grateful, I'm joyous to proclaim this, to know this, to release this into the mind of the universe so I can see more proof of our oneness. So I can see oneness through any anger that I might have, through any fear that I might have in my heart. I know that God is bigger than any of that. And so it's with this knowledge that I release these words, with those blessed words out into the universe of love. And let us all release the words with the words. And so it is.
In my way,
day. I think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all the obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
Once again, Matt, John, thank you for coming.
Oh, that was wonderful. Thank you, Matt. Oh man, that song just makes you smile, doesn't it? I love music. So we are a center that observes the spiritual practice of giving and tithing. We call it conscious, committed, and structured giving. And there are many ways to give and expand your abundance consciousness. We give of our time through volunteering. We give of our talents through participation, and we give of our treasure through financial donations. Your gifts help us in our mission to provide a sanctuary for all to be lifted and inspired to embody spiritual principles and to live their inherent greatness. And our tithing partner for this quarter is Meals on Wheels. I have to look every week. I don't know why. Is Meals on Wheels, and we all know the great work that they do. And they put Meals on Wheels, and they send them to people that need them. And so we love what they do, and we support that. So a portion of your tithe is going to go to supporting that great organization. And there are many ways to give. You can text to give at the number that's on your screen now. You can visit our website at cslyolo.org, and you can click on the Donate Now button, or you can send us a good old-fashioned check or money order. Does anybody still use money orders?
Yeah.
Yes, people do still use money orders. So if you do, then you can go ahead and put that in the mail, or you can just put some money in the plate that is coming around to you now. So now that we know why we give and we know how to give, let us enter into that sacred consciousness of divine abundance. And I ask you to place your hand over your heart, symbolizing that vibrational energy of circulation, and say with me our abundance affirmation. I give with an attitude of abundance, knowing that as I give, I do receive. Today, I celebrate my prosperity and my ability to share from my overflow of good. I give from the knowledge that all is well.
What goes around comes around. We give what we receive. A circle of abundance that is there for you and me. So give what you get what you give. Living in abundance is the only way to live. Give
these gifts to do their work of proclaiming the good news that all is well. As we have freely given, according to the law of circulation, it returns to us, full measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. So we will always have more to enjoy and to spare, to give and to share. For this we give thanks, we let it be so. And so it is. So we have something to say to our children today, the children that are headed this way and the children that we have nestled deeply in our hearts. We want to let you know 3 things. We love you.
We love you.
We're here for you.
We're here for you.
And we're so glad you're here.
We're so glad you're here.
And speaking of children, we are, ready for the next slide? There it goes. We are looking for volunteers. We are building our youth ministry, and every once in a while, we have a child that shows up. We want to be ready for when they do, and ready for their parents, and ready for that whole occasion. So we need 2 or 3 youth leader volunteers. We need you to join us in visioning for this new youth ministry that we're developing right now, and what that can look like, and what we want it to be. And so we have a committee, and if you have any educational experience, if you know people that might want to do this, we are calling for volunteers, and we're also thinking about developing a paid position. So as all of this is forming up, we really need your help and input. So that's what's going on, and that's how we're going to help to continue to serve this community and the people in it. So so that's that for that. We believe in the power of connection here at the Center for Spiritual Living Yolo. And what does that mean? That means that we're connected to Spirit, unbreakably connected to Spirit. And we're also unbreakably connected to each other. And that connection has power. And we exercise that power through prayer. So if you find yourself in need of prayer today, then please let us know. Prayer practitioner, raise your hand. You can come to me, you can come to Deborah, and get yourself some prayer. We are trained to see God moving through your life and actions in perfection right now. So please let us know if you find yourself in need of prayer. If you are the shy type and you just want to leave and you still need prayer, you can leave us a prayer request in the box on the welcome table, and that prayer request is only looked at by practitioners and prayed on throughout the week. You can also, if you're online, visit us at cslyolo.org and go to the practitioners section of that page, and you can also leave us a prayer request there. Again, secure and only looked at by prayer practitioners. So after the next thing we got is our fellowship time. And it will be slightly abbreviated because we've got a great vision catcher class that is after service, and that starts at noon. So our fellowship time downstairs will be a little bit abbreviated, but it's well worth it because I'm going to go make me a dream vision catcher. And I cannot wait. So join us downstairs for coffee, tea, and some fellowship and just some good times. And all of that happens after our closing song and benediction, which happens now.
All righty, here we go. You can stand and sing, God is good. God is good all the time. God is good all the time. God is always there for me. So I go and let it be. Love is good all the time. Love is good all the time. Love
love and compassion and peace rise up into our hearts, because that is the world that we want. That is the life that we want. And we have unlimited amounts to fuel and supply that world that we want to live in. So always remember that God loves you. And so it is.
God is always there for me, so I let go and let it be.
All right, let's eat.